and welcome to the JTrain podcast. This is JTrain, Jared Freid, coming to you live from the quarantine cabin on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. We're here every single day, Monday through Friday, with your quarantine content. That's right, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every single weekday to get you through the day. And listen, we're doing it for the low, low price of tell a friend. Tell a friend, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa, anyone with ears. Let them know. We're also on YouTube. I love YouTube land. You got to go comment on the YouTube page. Go, go, go right now. Get into it. Very excited. An OKP to the show, original key player. So pumped to have him back. A good friend, hilarious comedian, Cypher Sounds.
Hello, Jared Friedman.
Look at that mic.
I got to do it better than you. I always forget how good you are at this. I always forget until I come on the show.
Bringing it, baby.
You're so good at this, and now it's so needed. You know? What are you sipping on?
This is my new drink. I'm a big iced coffee guy.
Right.
Okay. But I've been going back and forth. I'm looking, I'm trying to revamp. I'm trying to clean up my kitchen.
Yeah.
I used to do double espresso over ice, or I do an iced coffee, but the double espresso over ice, it wasn't enough to sip on for the day.
Right.
You ever get an espresso? Do you drink any coffee?
No, I don't drink coffee, but I know what you're saying, because espresso is supposed to be like a shot.
Little shot, but I want to have a day with it. I want lit off. I want to be at the barbecue. So I do, now I'm doing iced Americano, which is espresso with water, and I get a little pump of vanilla.
Oh, nice.
And I put it over ice, and I've no lid, just sipping.
Yeah.
You don't drink coffee. You don't drink coffee. Are you Muslim?
No, but it's so funny. I did a show today with my boy Guz Khan about how to be Muslim, and I'm close. I'm almost there.
At this point, why not? You don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't drink coffee. What else?
I don't eat pork.
Don't eat pork. What's the reason for all this? And what's your background?
I'm Puerto Rican from New York City, but in the 90s, Malcolm X and all that Nation of Islam culture was all mixed up in the hip hop scene. So you picked up a lot of it. I don't eat pork for the same reasons Muslims don't eat pork. I'm just not in the Muslim religion. But I agree with
what are the reasons?
It's just a dirty animal, and it's a bottom feeder. It's just gross. And also,
Jews don't eat pork as well. So no hooved meats.
But a pig is smarter than a dog. It's like eating a mega dog. You don't want that.
Yeah, the pig stuff, it's tough. It's not. The more I learn about pigs, the closer you get to seeing that they have a personality, the harder bacon gets. You ever see those people that get the toy pigs? The little baby pigs, and they have them running around the house, and you're like, that's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen. And it's crazy that they're as delicious as they are cute. That's a tough thing. It's tough. And it's it's with a lot of things. The internet, we are smarter just by having the internet at our hands.
Of course.
Just for the pure fact of that. So we are in touch with more information. The more information you get, the more you're like, oh, you're right. I am. When they talk about PC culture, it's not as much PC. It's just the awareness that you get put face to face with people that are hurt by something you said.
Exactly.
As just like the pig. I don't think my grandparents knew how cute a toy pig would be.
Right. At all.
Or how smart.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think about. You have the gold mic in your hand. Where's the mic from? How did you get that? Well, if people don't know, Cypher is an amazing comic, but you were on the radio for years.
I was on the radio on Hot 97 in New York City for 17 years. Yeah. I literally went from intern to morning show, burnt out at year 15. And then you know what you do when you burn out? You stay an extra 2 years just to torture yourself.
That's any job. You spend 2 years going, what am I going to do? How am I going to get out? No, you're doing the Andy Dufresne and you're planning the escape.
Exactly. And also in relationships, it's the same thing. How
Absolutely. No breakup happens the minute it should.
So this mic is I didn't even turn it on. This mic is special. I got it.
Where did you get that? In YouTube land, you can see that Cypher has a mic that looks like it costs $10,000.
But watch this. Check it out.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I got this at a very exclusive store called Urban Outfitters.
Ooh, yeah. I don't think they don't let anyone into that store. I
bought this mic as a toy for my daughter. Yeah, and I was like, nah, this is kind of fire. I'm gonna.
That's like the equivalent of trying the Dino Nuggets and eating her whole lunch.
I just had a Dino Nugget yesterday, yo.
You did? I knew it. You're stealing her Dino Nuggies, and you're stealing her mic.
I made her a grilled cheese with tomato and turkey bacon and smoked Gouda. I knew she would like it. I made it for myself.
That is the fun part about being a dad. Oh, you don't like Gruyere? You don't enjoy a roast chicken with a side of mashed potatoes? I guess someone's got to eat it.
Who's going to eat all this horseradish?
How has quarantine been? How are you doing it? Where are you doing it? Tell us.
Okay. I'm pretty blessed. Mentally, I understand how hard it is for people. It's very uncomfortable, straining.
Well, this is like, not to interrupt, but this is like a symbolism for life. Life is hard for everyone. Yeah. Like even a billionaire has his own problems, her own problems. So I think it's interesting now. It's like, it is funny that during the quarantine, like it's hard for everybody and it's in their own special way. Yeah. It is annoying when you see on Instagram someone being like it does. You have to have the awareness of like, yeah, my quarantine is a good quarantine, but also it's hard for me. So it's like when you see those people that are like on their yacht being like, hey, everybody, we're in this together. And then they never say like, oh, but I have a staff of 10 here with me. Like they never like admit to that. That's when it's annoying. So I'm sorry, go on.
No. And I understand what you're saying. Cause also those people like their family members might pass away too. Like I look at it on both sides. But I'm lucky enough, years ago, I got a lot of therapy. And the thing about therapy is that you're never fixed. They just give you a toolbox and you're equipped. You now have a set of tools that when something goes wrong, you can whip out your wrench or your hammer and kind of adjust. So if you never get that toolbox, it's hard to adjust. So I've been blessed. The first couple of weeks of this was really hard, but I just decided, I always said, I would eat right and diet if I could get like a month in a cabin by myself.
Now, here you go, baby.
Oh, you want the universe?
God was like,
you want the universe to give you what you want? Boom. Yeah. So I had to have a real long talk in the mirror and I had to get right. I got on the scale today, Jared Friedman, and I was 229. And I've been trying to get into the 20s for a long. That's the first time I've been in the 20s in like 3-4 years. Like
wow, good. That is.
Today was a day.
I love hearing that. That's amazing. Today
was a day.
Snaps to Cypher. I gotta say, you do look skinny. Your face looks good. Yo, that shirt looks like it fits right.
This shirt did not fit the top of quarantine.
That's the thing. Like I've been doing, I've been working with a trainer like in the mornings. Yeah. This guy, and everyone should go follow him at Forzag on Instagram. He's great. He does but I was kind of a hater. I was like, oh, through the phone. I don't know how motivated. I'm in my apartment. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? The nice thing is right now it gives we have this extra time. Extra time fucking sucks, but it also, you can take out an hour of the day to be like, here's the hour. Here's where it's going to happen. Here's where I reflect. Here's where I write. Here's where I eat a little healthier. Get the turkey bacon instead of, like the butter on it, whatever it is. Yeah. So I good for you, man.
Yeah, thank you. And I've also been running thanks to our friend Michelle Wolf.
Okay, Michelle is a runner.
Yeah, Michelle Wolf, great comedian and one of those extreme runners. And she gave me a program.
Okay.
She gave me this running program. If you go on my Instagram at Cypher Sounds, I have a conversation. I have a new show called You Must Learn. And the first one I did was with Michelle about running. And I'm talking about, I'm not athletic. I've never ran in my life. I almost failed high school because I almost failed gym. I had to take summer school gym. Do you understand that?
That's embarrassing. That is one of those moments where you're at summer school gym and you're like, listen, I'm just not good at school. And then you look around at everyone, they're like, everyone's obese. And you're like, no, we're not good at anything. We're not good at school. We're not good at dodgeball. We're not good. We don't even have any.
Yeah, man. So I've been running, getting better and better every day. And I go back and forth between here and my in-laws' house in Rockland County, which is 45 minutes away.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I mean, the running. What's the one thing you learned about running that maybe you didn't know before?
The thing is the way you start, because I get frustrated with myself. I'm like, you're a fat piece of crap. You eat go run, and then I try to run 9 miles day one, and the sheer energy and force will get you through it, and then you won't go running again for months.
Because you're remembering that one day. You're like, that was the worst prison inside of my own thoughts I've ever been contained into.
Yeah. So now it started off 4 minutes walking, 2 minutes running, and then I'll do that for 3 days in a week, and then the next week it would go up a little, up a little, up a little, up a little, and I don't overdo it, even though I think I could go more.
I love that
regiment.
That's a lesson for life. That's everything.
Yeah, everything.
I remember with comedy, I heard the best advice for stand-up I ever took away from someone, and I don't even know this guy. And also, Michelle is such a runner. Have you ever walked with Michelle? Michelle and I would go for walks whenever I would open for her on the road, and I'd be like, "This is a run. This is not a walk.
Like a light run.
This is a light run. You have crossed into running territory." But the best advice I ever got for stand up, and I don't even know him, but I'm a huge fan. Bill Burr.
Yeah,
I heard him give an interview, and he was like, "I just try to get a new minute a week." And he was like, if I get a new minute a week, that's 52 minutes in a year. That's a new special.
Yeah. Wow. Where did he say that?
I don't remember where he said it, but to me, that became Bible. That became, that was the advice. And again, lesson for life. That's for walking and running and for comedy. So I started doing that early on. I was like, I would always at the end of every week of doing stand up, and this is from year 2, I'd be like, what's my new minute? And even if I didn't, it's not like I was timing it on a clock. I was just like, what's that new thought that I didn't have the week before? And you know what? And for us, we're younger in the game, and we haven't been doing. I'm no Bill Burr.
No.
So I would always say, at the end of the year, I'll have 52 minutes that I think is good.
Yeah.
But maybe that's 20 minutes of real good stuff.
Right.
And it's I can't count on 52 minutes a year. I can count on if I get to 52, I'll have 20.
Right.
And it's I'm not trying to win a race. I'm trying to stay in the marathon. And I think that's the thing for running, for stand up, for whatever pursuit you're doing. That's again, it's the toolbox.
Yeah. I love that. So, I'm gonna implement that 1 minute a week.
That's all I do. So everyone needs to go follow Cypher. I'm so happy you're here on the JTrain podcast. At Cypher Sounds. So funny, so awesome, all good stuff. Are you ready to do some emails?
I'm ready.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Keep sending those emails. Keep tagging friends. I'm putting out videos on Instagram. You got to tag a friend, because here's what I'm doing. The people that get to the podcast, you're in. You have a place for this. You have where you put in your life during your runs, during your laundry. Someone on Instagram doesn't really have a place for this. They need to be, breadcrumbed in. The breadcrumbs are the videos I'm putting out.
Right.
You need to set the trap by putting them tagging them in the Instagram comments, right? So that's how this whole thing works.
That's definitely how it goes. And listen, you're all part of this amazing tribe now with JTrain. You don't want to sit on the train alone. You want your friends with people. Also, we just did the virtual happy hour. What an event. I can't wait to do more of them. Dude, we had over 900 people. I had 3 guests. We answered emails. I did rants. We had videos. I broke down 900 people?
Yeah, I broke down the Parent Trap with Elaine Hendricks, who was in the movie. So we broke down a scene together. It was a blast. And it was like, I think a lot of people assumed it was going to be like a Zoom that they're used to doing, but this was such a notch above this. The production value of what we put out there. I'm so proud of all the people I worked with to do it. So I want to thank everyone I worked with and come to the next one, because and people are messaging me. They're like, this was the best date I could do during the quarantine. And I didn't even think of it as a date idea. So thank you to everyone that came out. Let's do some emails. Should I end things after only FaceTiming? Jared,
this is an email? This is an email.
This is an email. We're into it. Jared, feather, and thank you for entertaining us all during quarantine. At the beginning of quarantine, I matched with a guy on Hinge. We talked for a week and decided to go on a FaceTime date. We had a perfectly nice time drinking on FaceTime and have since texted almost daily and gone on 2 other quote-unquote dates on video chat where we've played board games online and watched Netflix. I think he's super nice and fun, but I've realized after our 3rd date that it's not the match. Do I end it now or wait until we actually meet him in person whenever this thing is over to make sure? Is it stupid to quote-unquote end something that never really started? Am I just losing out on someone fun to dirty text with in isolation? Thanks for all you do. Saifa, what do you think of this issue?
First and foremost, I can't believe now people are emailing you for problems they're having right now during quarantine.
Dude, the minute this started, I started getting, so how are we going to date? And I'm like, and I had to like sit and put on some music and like look in the mirror and go, how would I date? Like I really have been thinking a lot about this.
Yeah, and these are new problems that are unprecedented. Okay, so let's think about it. This probably happened before in the past, before technology. I'm sure people had issues with, I guess, writing letters.
Well, what would you do? You think it's?
It never started.
Well, I would disagree with what she's saying. Here's the thing. You don't just change one thing and then nothing else changes. She wouldn't have gone on 3 quote-unquote FaceTime dates if the quarantine didn't exist. But we live in a quarantine reality. We live in a quarantine world. So that means FaceTime dates happen, and that means breakups happen before you physically touch them. So I think you can't. It's like you don't. It's all gravity. Everything's affected. Your beginnings are different, and so are your endings. And I think for her, the one thing a lot of people do is they're like, well, I don't want to throw away good to find bad. And it's like, no. You're throwing away good to find better for you.
Yeah.
Like she gave it a college try. She gave it a shot. Like at this point, like, you're like, why are you going to, to me, she's like, am I just losing someone fun to dirty text? You can find someone to dirty text very easily. Oh, yeah.
That is not the problem. No. I'll dirty text with you.
Yeah, Saifa's ready for your DM.
I'm good at it too.
Yeah.
But I disagree a little bit because even people that meet on dating apps, I get it. The world has changed. Technology has changed. But there's just something about the in-person. There's something about the in-person that like.
But don't you think that like this is all like? What's that?
I don't think that can be captured digitally. or virtually,
Yeah,
you might say.
I think, but I understand what you're saying, but don't you think like everything extends up? Like one thing, it's like I was talking about with tagging someone in my Instagram. Like if you like what you see on Instagram and you tag a friend, your friend is then free to go, they like it or they don't. It's a choose your own adventure. If they like it, then they look at more of my profile. And then if they like more of it, they follow. And if they follow, they go check out the link in my bio. And if they check out the link in my bio, they check out the podcast. And if they like the podcast, they might use one of the promo codes. Like I get like, you and I live in the reality of an entrepreneurial world. The entrepreneurial world is, here's the product, people buy it or they don't. So I think that relates to dating too. You went on, you saw him on Hinge. You thought he was cute. You guys messaged. You opted in for a FaceTime date. You went into the FaceTime date. You opted in for a second FaceTime date. You went on the third one. You opted in again. Now you're going, I think I'm done with this. You don't even, like, I understand, like, physical touch will help things, but I also think it's okay at every opt-in stage to opt out as well.
It's fine to opt out. It's fine to opt out. That's not the issue. She's saying, is she ending it before it really starts? Now, here's what I'm saying. You order something on Amazon.
Okay.
You look at every angle in the computer. It has the little menu where you see the bottom, the top, the sides. It shows you it next to something so you can see how, the depth of it. It looks great on on Amazon. It gets delivered to your house and you're like,
Yeah. I think we're both, this is one of those scenarios where there's like no wrong answer. Like I agree with what you're saying. I also wouldn't fault her for ending it. Like, but also here's the middle ground. Like if we want to give her a middle ground piece of advice, what I would say to her, why don't you back off? Why don't you say to the guy, like, why don't we just say, hey man, this has been a lot of fun. Like this, I know a lot of people want relationships to go like this. I don't think you need a breakup, but I think you say to him, this has been a lot. Like, would you be offended if a girl was like, hey, this has been a lot of fun. I think we're like at a stage now where I know you, you know me, and I don't know if I could get anywhere further from this. Can we back off a little and you set up a date when this is all over? You have my number. We can set something up. Like, and if you don't, you don't. If you do, you do.
I wouldn't like that at all.
You wouldn't like that at all?
I wouldn't be offended because I don't get offended, but I would be like, nah, either we're going to keep this going or we're not. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. I don't know. I want to know if I think maybe there's a solution in her continuing to swipe, continuing to be on the dating apps while like maybe getting back to him a little less every day.
I agree with that. And also, he doesn't, you can still continue doing what you're doing and then also look for other options. Yeah. He's not your boyfriend. You don't have to lock in.
I know.
You can go search.
Locking in makes things simpler, but it doesn't make things better.
Yeah, you don't have to lock in with them. You just maybe back up a little bit, keep the texting going. You still get the text, have fun, but go see what other options because you might find the one.
Yeah.
That you're like, oh, I was just trying to hold on to that last one because it was convenient. But this new guy is the one. I'm gonna let the other guy go.
And the positive of quarantine is that because you don't have to go on dates, you have a lot more time to date a lot of people at once.
Yeah,
like
you don't have to
virtually date. Like because when people would always write in, they'd be like, well, how do I know they're not seeing someone? And it's like, there's only 24 hours in a day. You can't go on dates 3 a night every night of the week. Like, so this, you could hypothetically date 3 people at once and it's manageable.
It's definitely manageable. And here's another problem with this quarantine dating life. You can't give the excuses like you used to because
no, you can't.
Especially,
hey, I gotta go. Where do you gotta go? I don't know. I just don't want to talk to you anymore. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. Here with Cypher Sounds at Cypher Sounds. Go follow right now. Fantastic comic. What are the video series you're doing? You just said with you did one.
I'm doing something called You Must Learn, and it's just me talking to people about things I want to learn, that things they're good at that I want to learn.
And the first one was with Michelle Wolf.
Michelle Wolf about running, and then I spoke to my friend Talisha about learning how to speak Spanish, but specifically to pick up Dominican girls.
Love it.
Yeah.
So everyone needs to go follow Cypher, and that's on your Instagram.
Yeah, yep. At
Cypher Sounds. Vacation Fling.
Ooh.
J Baby. I went to Mexico right before quarantine hit, and I met a guy. We hit it off and hooked up for the whole time we were on vacation. Ay. That is hot.
Caramba.
Oh my God. I got a little taco in my pants. Generally, when I meet people on vacation.
Wait, are you not circumcised?
Yeah, I'm circumcised. Come on.
Because a taco would be if it would like the extra. I forget again.
I guess it would more be what's the
enchilada? Maybe
not an enchilada. The rolled ones.
A taquito.
Taquito. Yeah. The funniest part about that is in the background, I hear my girlfriend go, "Taquito! It's a taquito!" Can you like she was my mom from the side? No, your penis is a taquito. Generally, when I meet people on vacation, we just go back to our normal lives at home. She's doing this a lot. Oh my God, I wish I had fucking met her on vacation once. But we have been talking every day and even had 2 trips planned to see each other. He's from Canada and I live in the United States, so obviously the trips were canceled due to the borders being closed. I'm wondering how to keep things interesting during quarantine until we can reschedule our trips. Conversation is kind of boring since we aren't leaving our houses. I've tried sexting, but it's just not the same when you don't know when you will hook up again. Do you have any suggestions to keep things fun? This is tough.
That's a tough one.
Right?
That's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know. Because also they already did the do. So they don't have anything to look forward to. You know what I mean? The anticipation is not there because they did it already.
They literally did the sexiest thing you could do. Meet in Mexico and fuck all week and then go home to their respective place. Like I don't know where that's a honeymoon they had.
Yeah, exactly. Where do they go?
That's a honeymoon that you didn't even know was going to happen, which even makes it sexier. With someone you didn't know before. Yeah, you're right. This is very difficult. What could they do?
I mean, there's only but so many options. There's sexting, which is texting sexy messages, right?
She said they tried.
There's FaceTime or some kind of video, action, fondling action.
Here's the problem is any suggestion we give takes them to a relationship, which is naturally more boring. Hey, go to Mexico, go meet someone in Mexico is like the hottest. Like I even said I had a taquito in my pants just from reading the sentence. So like the meeting in Mexico. So now we're supposed to suggest something hotter than meeting a random guy in Mexico that you fucked on the beach. Like we're not fucking angels on earth. We're not magicians.
Yeah, you already did the hottest thing, and now you're in a pseudo quasi relationship where you guys are like he's on the road for work, and you're doing things that married people do, like let's go FaceTime and masturbate. Like,
here's what I would do. Okay, here's one suggestion to like spice it up. You guys, I used to tell people to do this when I had Adam and Eve was sponsoring the podcast. You guys should both go to the same site, the same sex toy site. You buy something for him to use on camera. He buys something for you to use on camera. And then each of you have your night where you are the show. So one night it's just him relaxed watching, dick in hand, and you do put on the show with the toy he bought you. And then another night is you sitting with your hand on the Xbox controller while he is putting on a show for you. Isn't that with the toy that you bought him, right? Little switcheroo.
Okay, yeah.
Do you like what I'm talking? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying, but it's just...
At least it's something. I mean, here's the thing. Like, everyone, I get this a lot with, like, a lot of the dating questions are like, so what else can I do on a FaceTime date? And I'm like, well, you guys could listen to a podcast together. And they're like, yeah, but what else? I feel like I'm in a production meeting and someone's like, yeah, what's the next big dating show? And I'm like, well, we could do this. And they're like, no, we need bigger. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, no, but I think that at least with that, you can have your imagination. And also, this also has to exist in the no judgment zone. If he sends you something a little weird and off the radar that you didn't expect, you got to go with it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. The only thing I don't agree with, and I know you're gonna disagree with this, my boy Jared Friedman. I am very one way in the visual, video, virtual sexting conversation. I accept pictures.
Of course.
I accept videos. I could never send out.
This is something women don't understand, the insecurity men have with this. Oh, he wants me to send pictures. Why don't you send a picture? The reason is if Cypher sends a picture, the difference between men and women, I'll tell you right now, right here on the JTrain podcast, is that if Cypher went into a bar, if Cypher was mad at this girl, if you were mad at your girlfriend and you went into a bar with a picture of her putting a banana up her ass, everyone would go, that's kind of hot. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. But if we switch that around, like they'd be like, but if we switch that around and she walked into a bar and was like with a picture of you with a banana up your ass, everyone would go, boy, Cypher's a fucked up weirdo.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the unfairness of society. Like, that's the thing we can't change. So that's why men are more weird about, and I understand what you're saying, like men are just a little bit more reserved when it comes to this stuff.
I think so. I mean, a lot of guys seem to be sending their little dingling pics, but I never have. But I think a woman's body is beautiful, and I'm talking about
it's more artistic.
Even if she's chunky, she's like, oh no, I'm feeling a little.
Nah, we love it.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
A guy's body is just
mechanical, gross, hairy.
Yeah.
Dark crevices that you don't know what's going on in there. Yeah, my body is a house of horrors.
I've never ever in my life put on like a sexy pose where girls.
It's embarrassing.
Girls have been putting on sexy poses since they were in high school, like in one way or another.
Well, this is the reason hot dudes on Instagram don't have a bunch of followers and call themselves fitness instructors. Like, it's a different story. Like,
it's different.
Yeah. We are sponsored, people. The JTrain podcast is brought to you by Best Fiends. If you're looking for a fun way to pass the time, and we've all got a little time to pass right now, if you want to play a game that engages your brain and takes place in a beautiful fantasy world, your answer is Best Fiends. I love this game. So they're sponsoring the podcast. They're like, download Best Fiends. I play it every single day. And you know what? It's a little trip from, you're in the middle of a work day. You're like, let me take 5 seconds to play Best Fiends. You can lose hours playing this game, but I take a little trip to Best Fiends. I play a little game, pass a few levels, and then I go back to my day. It's a nice way to break up your day, and you're playing a fun game. It makes my brain feel good to find patterns and keep leveling up. You find these different patterns. You keep adding levels. Best Fiends is a casual RPG puzzle game that anyone can play, but it's made for adults. It's bright, colorful, has cute characters. It's got a whole world going on. You can spend as much or as little time as you'd like in the game. That's what I love about it. You can pick it up for an afternoon or a quick hit in the middle of the day to reset your mind. I'm a big reset your mind guy with the game. I love Best Fiends. You can spend Best Fiends is a unique and exciting puzzle experience unlike any other puzzle games out there. It makes your brain feel good. You collect tons of cute little characters that you use to beat the bad guys in each level. Best Fiends updates the game monthly with new levels and events, so it never gets old. That's huge. Does not require internet to play, so you don't need to worry about Wi-Fi access or using cell data. Engage your brain with fun puzzles and collect tons of cute characters. Trust me, with over 100 million downloads, this 5-star rated mobile puzzle game is a must play. Download Best Fiends free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R. Best Fiends. Go, go, go. I love playing this game. It's a great reset for your brain. When you're getting stressed, you want to just take a minute from your day, go download Best Fiends. Join me because I'm playing all day long. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here with Cypher Sounds at Cypher Sounds.
Thank you.
Go follow, go support. I like this one. Male listener, too ugly for dating apps. Greetings, Jared, Jess, and guest. First time, long time. Checked out both your live You Up and comedy set. Don't mention the city, or maybe mention. Don't write things you don't want mentioned. I'm like, we'll bleep it out. Shelby, bleep it out. Okay, checked out both your live You Up and Zany's comedy set and blank. Big fan. I've told a couple of my friends about you and now subscribe to your podcast. I am writing, wondering when it's a good time to resign from the dating apps. I have been on the holy trinity of apps, Bumble, Tinder, and Hinge, for the last 4 years to no luck. And I mean no luck as in not dating, no matches. And when I do match, I have considered allowing red flags as I do not really have any options. However, those matches usually never message, or they fade out, or never engage in questions, aka you're drowning in blue theory. When your whole screen is blue text, you're drowning in the ocean. Or simply unmatch after matching. I'm not the type to mass right swipe or like everyone either. I know I'm no Adonis, but I am also against wasting people's time. Now that the quarantine has hit, it has become even harder to connect with a woman. Furthermore, listening to some of the complaints by women at your live shows have frustrated me a bit. I guess my first question would be, should I risk trying to approach women whenever available in public, example, a grocery store during quarantine? And should I actually feel frustrated for feeling overlooked after hearing all of these dating app complaints on podcasts and live shows? Any advice would be much appreciated. I have left 2 pictures of me. The former is the only one on the apps. I'm 6 foot, work in IT networking, and I'm confused as to what I should be doing. For clarification, I'm not too picky. I have one rule. If I cannot physically lift you, that's a deal breaker. Okay. It's quite a FYI.
That's not bad, though, because he's 6 foot. He's probably got some muscle. Like, that's not bad.
He writes, FYI, don't give me the someone's foot theory this time, please. So I have this. It's not a theory. It's a reality, is that look at the categories on, the someone's foot theory works better for women than it does for men. Because the someone's foot theory is that on porn sites, all the categories, look at all the categories.
Right.
There's someone, and the only reason they have categories is because it was searched so much.
Right. That
they were like, fuck it. Don't even search it. We'll have a quick hyperlink here.
Right.
So like foot stuff is in that stuff. So some dude out there is masturbating to feet.
Yeah.
So for women that are self-conscious, you're someone's foot is the theory. Like whatever you are, there's a guy into that.
Right. Anything, whatever it is.
Anything. It doesn't matter.
I agree.
I don't know if the reverse, I don't know if it goes the other way around. Is every, like, if you ever notice that there's one category that's like for women and you're like, oh, they only needed one.
Yeah.
They're like,
for women, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, and I'm looking at pictures of him. He's a good looking dude. He's not too ugly. Like he's a good looking dude. He should. He showed his match queue. It has one person, and then the other one is Bumble greeting him to the app. So,
but he's a good looking dude.
He's a good looking dude. I could say it right now. I'll forward you the email.
So what's the problem? Because I always did one of this, Jared. I never did dating apps. I never did them, and I always wanted to because I was always better at text conversation. When texting came out, it was great for me because I was good at writing cute little things.
You could write your own script.
And I get enough traction because I always I told you this before, I have no opening line. I have no opening game. Once a girl meets a friend of a friend, I always do well because I'm interesting, I'm traveled, I'm learned. What I mean? I do well, but the initial thing, you could see that I'm nervous. I look too long or I look too short. Anyway, I always wondered this. Dating apps is just the face and a little bit of information. So no disrespect, but how are ugly people doing on this?
Well, I'll say this. I'll give him one thing. Sometimes the answers are in the email.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give him the someone else's foot theory. I'm going to say he writes, there's two things from his email that I'll take away, that I can see what the issue is.
Because you're a dissector.
I'm a dissector, and I have fully done surgery on this email. Any advice would be appreciated. I have left 2 pictures of me. The former is the only one on the apps.
Okay.
No girl wants to date the guy with one picture.
Does he look like a creep?
It's a creep. You're hiding something where your friends. Women want the guys will swipe right on the one picture. They don't give a fuck as long as they're into it. He's doing this as if he's basically saying, well, here's one picture. That's what I look like.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares? Women don't look at these apps the same way we look at the apps.
They want the life, right?
They want to know what's going on. They're not going to just look at your job in one face and go, well, I want to rub my clit to that. Yeah. Guys do that. Yeah. Guys go, every swipe from a guy is very 1 + 1 = 2. Your face plus my penis, swipe right. Women look at these apps and they go, is he safe? Is he someone who looks like he has a fun life? Does he like to do things?
Right.
So if you have one picture and he showed the picture, the 2 pictures he sent, it's just one selfie. And the other is just his body. So I think he's just showing me that he has a good body. So, I mean, he looks good. But he's just got one picture where it's like, we don't know anything from that. If anything, it could be a catfish. We want to know that you exist in the reality that we live in too. That's what women want. So when you have one picture, and then the second issue he has, I'm going to read you a few sentences from his thing.
Okay.
So he needs more pictures on the app if he's going to keep on the apps. I don't know if maybe the apps aren't the place for you, BTW. But if he's going to stay on the apps, he needs more pictures. And he needs to show a full life that is safe and fun and interesting. Friends, hiking, adventure. You dressed up, you dressed down. Those are the women want to see the whole you. Because if you notice, every girl's profile says the same thing. They'll all say, I want a night on the couch and a night out on the town. And it's like, so you need to show what you look like on the couch, what you look like on the town.
Right.
Here's the other thing he wrote. And I mean, furthermore, listening to some of the complaints by women at your live shows have frustrated me a bit. My first question would be, should I risk, and then he writes, should I feel frustrated for feeling overlooked after hearing all these dating app complaints on podcasts and live shows? He's coming at this very negatively.
Yeah.
I am right. I have been on the holy trinity of apps. No luck. No luck as in no matches. When I do match, I have considered allowing red flags.
Yeah.
Those matches never message. They fade out. Never engage in questions. Simply unmatch. I'm not the type to mass right swipe or like everyone. I know I'm no Adonis, but I'm also against wasting people's time. This can't be your religion.
Right.
You can't sit here on dating apps. It's like, have you ever been on a date with a girl, or you ever met a girl who's like mad at society, and you're like, okay, I can't do anything about that.
Right. We live here. We got to work with it.
We got to work with it. So I understand what he's saying. He's like, I'm getting no matches, and this girl's complaining about the guy won't text her back.
Yeah.
But that's someday you're going to be with a girl that you don't want to text back. There's an old saying my dad would always say.
Oh, I love dad sayings because I never had a dad. Go ahead.
Okay, my dad will be your dad for 4 seconds. Okay. For every hot chick, there's a guy who's tired of fucking her.
Yes, I love that.
So that's some girls might cringe at that saying, and it's an ugly saying, but it's also very true. So you can't relate your issues with getting matches to the girl's problems on dating apps or in dating, because you might be the guy who is over the relationship or doesn't know how to say the things on his mind with the girl who you're dating. That will be you one day. So their complaints have nothing to do with whether you're someone who they should be dating. And if you're bringing that grudge into your conversations and saying you're allowing things, your attitude might be off, and you might need to take a little break from the apps.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I'm not one of those super esoteric spiritual guys, but I do believe what you put in the universe is what you get back, and you're not putting your no pun intended. You're not putting your best foot forward on the apps. Like, if you're gonna do it, then do it. Do it
happily.
Right.
Do it right.
I would erase all those subscriptions to those apps, and I would start fresh.
I think you need to start fresh.
And I'm a guy that asks a lot of questions. I have no shame. If I want to know something, I go out and I ask. If you've been to JTrain's live show and you see girls complaining about this and that, take one of those girls out for a drink and let her help you with your app. Or a good friend you have, and be like, is this picture good? Is this picture good? Should I say this? Get 5 of your girlfriends, get a consensus, get a good profile going, and attack it with some positive energy.
And the reality is, I agree with all that. Positive energy is like the main phrase that this guy needs to take home, because I feel it in the email. I feel the anger, and I feel the angst. And listen, I'm not disagreeing with him. It fucking sucks. No one likes to get no matches and also what you're hearing is only a part of the story. You might be hearing, well, I got all these matches. Okay, yeah, but you're not hearing the real story. You're hearing so I think when no one wants to date someone who's mad at the world. You have to understand that everyone's situation is their own. And I would even say to this guy, he needs to start hanging out with some friends and going out with them. I think you can get too pigeonholed. You can get too narrow on these apps. I think you need to open your world up. Go out with friends. Hang out with them and their girlfriends. If your friends are in relationships, hang out with their girlfriends. Look, because their girlfriends are also, it sounds like he's looking for a relationship. It sounds like he's looking to meet people.
Yeah, their girlfriends. Like he does sound like he wants to be on the right path.
Yes, and I think if you hang out with friends and their girlfriends are now your best PR people, they're also your worst PR people. They're gonna be an honest reporter on who you are.
And don't be afraid of that honesty.
But their honesty right now is, he's a little negative. Yeah, he allows people to date him. So I think your languaging with them is always getting spread out to all their friends. Women want to hook you up with their fun friends if you're fun. So again, I know positivity is like the most annoying answer, but I can feel it in the email, and I think it'll help you if you and the other people's problems are not the reason you're not being overlooked. Like he wrote that in his email.
Yeah. He wants
feeling of overlooked. You're not overlooked.
He wants to stand up at your event when someone's complaining and be like, I'm right here. I won't do those things. Date me. And you're like, this guy's a creepazoid.
Yeah. No, it's not about you. JTrain podcast.
You got sorry to cut you off, JTrain.
No, go ahead.
You got nothing but time right now. We're in a messed up situation. Use this time to get your apps popping, baby.
We are sponsored, people. The JTrain podcast is sponsored by Ritual. We all want to do the right thing to keep our bodies healthy in the long run. But even if we try really hard to eat kale salads and drink green smoothies, we're still most likely not getting all of the essential nutrients we need on a daily basis. Enter Ritual, the obsessively researched vitamin for women. You can't eat a pound of kale per day. Ritual's essentials fill in the gaps in your diet so you get everything from D to omega-3, all in their clean, absorbable forms. No shady additives or ingredients. If you hate taking pills, this is for you. No more choking down pills. Rituals is just 2 easy to take capsules full of 9 nutrients. Their no nausea capsules design is gentle on an empty stomach, and there's a mint tab in every bottle to keep things fresh so you don't get that fishy aftertaste common with omega-3s. From D3 to omega-3, Ritual is essential for women, helps fill the gaps in a women's diet. A subscription is easy to start, only $1 a day, no strings attached. Better health doesn't happen overnight, and right now Ritual is offering my listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Fill in the gaps in your diet with Essential for Women, a small step that helps support a healthy foundation for your body. Visit ritual.com/JTrain. Let me repeat that. Ritual.com/JTrain to start your ritual today. That's 10% off during your first 3 months at ritual.com/JTrain. I'll say this. I take a multivitamin. I think you do it for the days that you're not doing the other things. You can't have a healthy day every day. This fills in the gaps. Go to ritual.com/JTrain. 10% off during your first 3 months. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain
podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. At Cypher Sounds on Instagram. Go, go, go. He's doing a new video series where he learns new stuff. I love it. His first guest is Michelle Wolf. Go, go, go. At Cypher Sounds. At Cypher Sounds.
Can I ask one question if I send you an email? Real quick. I am in a relationship. I can't date on the apps, but I always wanted to try it. And somebody told me, and I want to go after white girls on the apps. Yes. So somebody told me, just put up a picture of any Spanish guy. They won't know the difference.
I like to think I would know the difference as a white dude between Spanish guys. There's John Leguizamo. There's you. That's it. That's all I got.
All right, what else we got?
Let's do how to ask to get set up. Czar of Zoom, esteemed guest. Jared, thanks for the Wild Beach by Happy Hour show last night. Yamanika's segment was hilarious. Yamanika was so good. Much appreciated for hanging in the Zoom post party with us afterwards. So in the chat of Beach by Happy Hour, they set up a Zoom hangout. I went and popped in.
Wow.
It was like over 50 people just hanging. It was great.
Wow.
So I moved back closer to home about a year ago. Haven't had much luck on the apps. I appreciate the level of accountability that a setup gives, but have no idea how to ask to be set up with a specific person. Who should I be asking for help? Cousins, my buddy's girlfriends? And should I ask them to think of someone, or is it weird to say, hey, I think this girl is cool. How about setting us up? Should I assume sisters are off limits? Thanks, Jared. Can't wait for you to come out to Michigan, but like in the summer when it's not cold. So I love this question. What do you think? What's the best way to get set up?
I think people overthink it. Like,
I'm with you. This is his question is correct, but it is an overthink.
Yeah, you're overthinking it. Like all those things, do all those things. Like your friends' girlfriends, cousin. Like you again, like JTrain said, the answer is in the email. You have cousins that have girlfriends. Great, ask them. You got friends who have girlfriends, and like you want someone to set you up with the perfect woman. And also I get weird setting people up because then both of them get mad at you if it doesn't work out.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. He's not. I love his email because it overcomplicates, but it also doesn't acknowledge the important part about asking to be set up. The important part is that you are. Asking someone to set you up is like taking someone's money as an investment. Mm-hmm. You need to realize that you're playing with other people's money with your company. Every decision of your company involves the investments of your investors.
Yes.
So you have to remember, so going on an app is like investing with your own money. Who gives a fuck? You don't affect anybody. That's why guys are acting crazy on apps and sending out dick pics and being like, hey, do you want to come over and suck my cock? Because they don't care. It's their own company that they're burning to the ground with nobody. Yeah. When it comes to a setup, now you've taken on investors. You've taken on the investment of your friend or cousin and the setup party. You've also taken on the investment of the person you're asking to be set up with. This isn't just someone they met out of the blue. Yeah. This is a higher level meet. So you have to respect that. Yeah. Anyone you're set up with, you have to understand there's probably going to be a breakup. You have to act like a gentleman. You might have to take them out. This can't be, hey, I think your cousin is really cute. And the approach is vulnerability. Hey, I was on your Instagram. I know this is weird. I think your cousin is really cute. What's their deal? Mm-hmm. That's the question. And then that person, that is enough of an ask, what's their deal, to let them know, the person that you're talking to then knows what the job is. Right. And it shouldn't be more than that. If they go, they're kind of seeing someone, that is them going, they're not going to like you. I don't want to do that. But if they go, oh my God, they've been just telling me they don't like being single. I think you guys would be great together. Let me do it. There's no in between. It's going to be vague. That means no. That's fuck yourself.
And accept that means no.
Accept it. Or it's, I never thought about it. You guys would be great. Oh, let me go talk to them. Let me figure this out. Some people, they'll either take on the responsibility of the investment or they won't. And you need to respect the vague no, because that is tough. I have been asked, who of your friends? And I'll be like, I don't know any friends. That's me going, no, bitch. None of them. You're out. I think like this is like, I think when you're asking to get set up, it's all a little bit, it's very tough, but it's always between the lines. It's in the margins. It's not very, very few times with a setup is everything spelled out for you. Yeah. So-and-so, like when you're asking for it. So they'll like you for sure. It's never that way. It's always, okay, let me go. You're basically asking for another country to negotiate a peace settlement for your penis.
Yeah, the mediator.
A mediator. And some countries don't want to get involved with your fucking penis.
Well, because they know what you've done in the past.
What you've done in the past, or they know it's not a match. They know that person's seeing someone. You're never going to get the full answer. Or they know that person's not attracted to you. It could be a number of things. Accept the vague answer as a no. And feel okay about yourself. Keep your ego intact. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Cypher Sounds, thank you for coming on.
Oh my God, thanks for having me, man.
This was such a pleasure.
I hope you all appreciate how amazing this guy is at this, man. I sincerely mean that, bro. You are a gem.
Oh, this is
what's the Jewish term?
Mensch.
You're a mensch.
Everyone go follow Cypher. We love him. He's a fantastic comic, fantastic guest at Cypher Sounds. Go right now. We'll be back next episode. Boom.